Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. Today I am doing a nail tutorial on how to fill Gel X nails and change the color of your Gel X nails without actually removing the full cover nail tips. So I'm going to show you how I went from these nails to these nails without having to remove my full cover nail tips. So let's just get right into it. I'm definitely going to speed a lot of this up because it would be a really long video if I didn't, but I did want to include a portion of it in real time just so you can kind of get an idea of what it looks like in real time. So the very first step for a Gel X fill, or even if you're not doing a fill and you're just changing out the color, you're going to want to remove the gel polish. And I am using this e-file. I do have a review video on this e-file. It works pretty well, and it was just like $35 from Amazon. But if you don't have an e-file, that's okay. You can still use a hand file and do this. It's just going to be a lot more difficult. It's going to take a lot longer, and it's going to, just be a lot more work. So I do recommend using an e-file if you do have one, but if not, you can still do this with a hand file. Whether you are using a hand file or you're using an e-file, you are going to want to have a high grit for your sanding band or nail file. So like if you're using a hand file, you would probably want like a 180 grit file. I don't know if you guys did notice, but I did do kind of an up close shot of this sanding band at the very beginning of this video, and you can tell that it is a very coarse and high grit sanding band. Now there are other drill bits besides a sanding band that are going to remove your gel polish a lot more quickly and a lot easier, but I do not have any of those. Those would be like ceramic bits and things like that. I don't have any of those, and also I would recommend a sanding band for a beginner rather than something like that, because with a sanding band, you're a lot less likely to cut yourself with something that removes gel polish like super quickly, like a ceramic bit. It's a lot easier to cut yourself because it's super sharp and everything. But of course, if you do have a drill bit that is going to remove gel polish more efficiently than a sanding band, and you're comfortable with it and you have experience with an e-file, then of course definitely you should use that, because we are wanting to do it quickly, but we also don't want to cut our cuticles or skin or anything like that using the e-file. Here's what it should look like when you're done filing. There is no gel polish left, and all that is left is the full cover nail tip ready to be filled and painted again. So like I was saying before, if you do have a drill bit that is going to remove gel polish a lot more easily and you're comfortable with using it, then of course that's a better option. But for a beginner like me, I would definitely recommend something like this sanding band I am using now. Don't get me wrong, if you are using a coarse sanding band like this, it can still hurt a little bit if you accidentally hit your cuticle or skin, but it just wouldn't be as bad as some of the other drill bits that are a lot sharper. So you still do want to be careful, even with a sanding band like this. As for the RPMs of the e-file, I personally usually keep mine around 12 to 13,000 RPMs, but you can kind of just like play around with it and see what you're comfortable with. Personally, that is what I am comfortable with and seems to work best for me. Another thing I wanted to talk about is the dust from filing gel polish, or really any nail product. I would personally recommend wearing a mask. I wore a mask when I was filming this video to make sure the dust doesn't get into my nose and lungs and everything. And something I don't have that I should probably get eventually, and I plan on getting eventually, is a dust collector, which is kind of just like a vacuum sort of thing. Like you would file over the dust collector and then it kind of just vacuums the dust in, so it's not like going all over in the air and everything. So that's something else that I don't have but would recommend, I guess. But at the very least, definitely would wear a mask, and I just have like a sheet of paper where I am filing so that it doesn't get like all over my desk, so I can just like throw that sheet of paper away and not get any dust on my desk. I'm going to go ahead and finish filing all of the gel off my full cover nail tips, and then I will get into the next step. Here is what my nails look like after filing off all of the gel polish. So now I'm going to be pushing my cuticles back, and I definitely could have done this before even filing off the gel polish, but it doesn't really matter just as long as you push back your cuticles before you apply the builder gel. As you'll be able to see, after I do push back my cuticles, there'll be a lot more space to work with, and it'll just be a lot easier to fill the Gel X nails with builder gel. I'm also going to be using the other side of the cuticle pusher and just use that side to scrape off some of the dead skin, and this will help the builder gel and everything just last a little bit longer. Speaking of pushing back cuticles, I did get a comment on one of my videos recently saying that it was very dumb of me that I was pushing back my cuticles because that can lead to infections and also lead to amputations, and I just thought that was a really ridiculous but funny comment, because that is just not true at all unless you're using an unsanitized cuticle pusher, or it is rusty or something like that. You're not going to get infected or an amputation just from pushing back your cuticles. So I just wanted to clarify that there's nothing wrong with pushing back your cuticles as long as you're using a safe tool and sanitized tool to do it. So but I mainly just wanted to point that out because I thought that comment was kind of funny. As you can see, I am moving on to the next step, and I could have done this step while I was filing off the gel polish or right after, but it doesn't really matter which order I did what in. So basically, I am just filing around the cuticle area of the fake nail so that there's not just like a random bump when the fake nail is meeting my natural nail. So I'm kind of just trying to blend that fake nail in more with my natural nail. You don't have to make it perfect because obviously we are going to be filling it, and the builder gel will help get rid of that bump, but it does help if you do file it down a little bit more. Then I am also using the buffer and just buffing the fake nail as well as my natural nail, just to make sure all of that gel polish got off, and then just buffing the area of my natural nail to kind of roughen it up and make sure the builder gel sticks on. Then finally, I am just brushing off all of that nail dust. I'm also going to be taking some rubbing alcohol and a lint-free wipe and just rubbing down all of my nails with that. And this just sanitizes my nails and also dehydrates them a little bit. I am now going to fill the Gel X nails using this Amili Builder Gel. And if you don't have to do the fill, then you would just go straight to applying the next gel polish color that you want to. Say maybe you just applied the full cover nail tips a few days ago and you don't have to do a fill because your nails haven't grown out yet, then you would just go straight to applying the color. But since my nails have been on, I think at least 2 weeks, you can see that they have grown out a lot, and I do have to do a fill in order to make them look a little bit better. I am fairly new to using Builder Gel, so I'm still kind of getting the hang of working with this type of gel because it is a lot thicker than regular gel polish, so it is a little different to work with than regular gel polish. So you are going to be applying it to the full cover nail tip as well as your natural nail, and you're just going to kind of try to level out the full cover nail tip with your natural nail so there's no bump or anything and it just kind of flows together. And you also kind of want the cuticle area to be a little less thick than the rest of the nail. I do know that some people even like to purposely apply their full cover nail tips a little bit above the cuticle area, and then they do this same exact method, which makes it look a lot more natural than if you were to just apply a full cover nail tip the regular way. One trick you should try when you're using Builder Gel is holding your nail upside down right before curing it for maybe about 10 seconds, and this will kind of help the Builder Gel flow together and self-level, and it just goes where it needs to be. So I'm just holding it upside down for around 10 seconds, and then I'm going to cure it. As you just saw in the last clip, I kind of just ran my nail along my other nail that I just applied Builder Gel to, and there was not a bump, which is what I wanted. So that is great, and you can kind of just see that it worked out nicely, and you can't really tell that before applying the Builder Gel, there was a gap between the full cover nail tip and my cuticle, and it just looks a lot better and more natural. So I'm just moving on to my other nails now, and like I was saying before, I am just applying the Builder Gel to all of the full cover nail tip and my natural nail, but I'm mainly focusing around that area with the bump where the full cover nail tip ends. And this is optional, but I do like wiping off the sticky layer after curing it with some rubbing alcohol, just because it makes it a little less annoying. And one last thing I did want to mention is if you apply the Builder Gel and then cure it and then realize that you did not apply enough Builder Gel, and the bump is still there, then you can always apply more even after you cured it. But I just try my best to only, have to cure it once. But if you accidentally cure it and then realize you need more Builder Gel, you can still add more even after it is cured. Just like any other gel product, if you do get any on your skin on accident, just make sure to wipe it up with a lint-free brush and some acetone before curing it. So after the Gel-X fill, it is time to apply whatever color of gel polish you want, of course. So I am using this Savvyland mauve color. Super beautiful. I've never used this color before, and I was just in the mood for some mauve, and I just really like this color so much. So I am using this color for some of my nails, but I'm also going to have two nails that are accent colors, so I will be showing you that color in just a little bit. And if I'm remembering correctly, I did do 2 coats for both of the gel polishes, but I just didn't film the second coat. The gel polish I am going to be using for the other 2 nails is this Born Pretty shimmery gold color, and I think it would go super well with the mauve gel polish. For my top coat, I'm just going to be using the Emily Gel Top Coat. And of course, it is always important to apply cuticle oil. For my first time doing Gel-X fill, I'm pretty proud of how this nail set turned out. I hope this video helped you guys out, and I hope you enjoyed watching it. Make sure to like and subscribe if you did like this video, and if you want even more nail content, make sure to go follow my Instagram and TikTok. There are some shorts that I don't post on my YouTube channel, but I do post there, so you'll get some extra nail content over on my Instagram and TikTok. But anyways, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!